This is a fantastic looking project, John. Tell us a little bit about the concept, what it is, and how you've managed to bring it to this stage.
Okay, it came out of a committee and a review board which Falch Ireland put together, which was chaired by Dan Flinter, probably 4 years ago now. And that was a review body which was to review what the tourism product was in Ireland. And the last time that committee like that was convened, they reported there wasn't enough accommodation in Ireland, and that has been addressed since. And this committee reported that we didn't have enough tourist product. And actually, when you look at the development over the last 6, 7, 8 years within the hospitality industry in Ireland, it has predominantly been bedroom driven.
Yes.
And the bedroom stock is probably better than it has ever been in the country, and the range and the quality of facilities. But actually, the range and quality of facilities for tourist attractions when they're actually here, and more importantly, to act as beacons for them to decide to come here, is null and void. It's just not there to that extent. When you look at the Eden project in England, the Louisiana in Denmark, the Guggenheim in Bilbao, and so on and so forth, we just don't have those catalysts within the industry here. And when I came back to Kenmare after sitting on that committee, we put together a small little subcommittee here in Kenmare to look at what the tourist project was, what motivated the tourists to go to these destinations in an overseas market, and what could we provide in this region here that would act as the carrot to come to this area here. We were very lucky. We sourced a little piece of land which was 3.5 acres with the tide in and 4 acres with the tide out, and we secured that thanks to Kerry County Council and the local land, the Lansdowne estate here in Kenmare, and we put together a very vibrant and a really strong proposal for Falch Ireland, which was, we believe, very well received. We found great encouragement from Falch Ireland, as it appeared to tick all the boxes that was required for the international tourism motivator in today's world. And then all hell breaks loose and the National Exchequer and the funds are pulled from there, so we're a little bit in limbo at the moment, although we did receive very good news last week that we should go after it again, because there would be light in the tunnel. So we're very hopeful as I sit here today.
That's terrific. The design is truly spectacular and not unlike the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao.
Yes.
And I mean that as a real compliment to it. It looks as if it is going to cost a few euro though.
It's funny. It's funny you should say about the Bilbao, because we're just in the middle of putting together a video on this project down here, and in doing that we came across footage which was filmed by an Irishman based in New York on the Guggenheim, and he interviewed the Lord Mayor of Bilbao and all the various different dignitaries in the area who were involved, and they all state there wasn't one person in favour of the project in the area of Bilbao. They thought the building was atrocious, they thought the site was the wrong place to put it, there was every sort of negative opinion towards it. We have had the direct opposite response to it here in Kenmare, which makes me really worried, because the Guggenheim was extremely successful and everyone was against it, and I'd be thinking, well, if everyone was for it here, you'd be wondering. But anyway, please God, that would never happen. But it is designed by a young architect who's Irish, trained in Bolton Street in Dublin, went to London and set up his own practice, Niall McLaughlin. He was shortlisted out of 10 architectural firms that we had shortlisted for the project here. Neil Scott would be one on the committee, who would be a well-known, prominent Irish architect, and he excluded himself from the tender process because he was more interested in getting involved in the actual behind the scenes of the project. And Neil was shortlisted. I had never met him. I went into the office here after a meeting one day. I phoned his office in London. He said, "You won't believe it," but he said, "I stayed in your hotel 2 years ago for a week." He said, "I holidayed all my life," he says, "in Derrynan." He said, "And I know the area inside out." And he said, "I'd be thrilled." So he came over. He spent 5 days here. He found 2 things which had greatly influenced the design of the building. One was the geology of the area and the limestone formation. That's a whole big story, but it's very evident in the design of the building. And secondly, he found a picture of the 6 nuns of Kenmare, who were a famous order in Kenmare, who came to Kenmare and were the first creators of mass employment with their lace making, which is very, very relevant to this, because this is all about employment and jobs. This could be a bubblegum factory if a bubblegum factory motivated an international tourist. That's what it is. This is about tourism, people on planes, people in cars, people touring the area and using this as a catalyst to come here. It's the couple in Sheffield or in Tuscany or in Seville who want to go away for a weekend and say, where will we go? They can choose X, Y or Z, and in each of those X, Y and Z there is a catalyst for them. That's the attraction, and that's what this is. The Ring of Kerry, the Ring of Beara, the ruggedness of the wilderness and the beauty of the area is absolutely wonderful, and the heritage of it is absolutely cornerstone and a huge huge backup for this, but that isn't the motivator for short trips anymore, and short trips is the way things are going. So that's what this is about.
Well, that's terrific, really, and you shouldn't lose heart in terms of financing, because it's probably a 3 to 5 year project anyway, even if you had pushed all the green buttons today. And that is a thing that the tourist industry finds troubling, which is the loss of the capital fund that Fáilte Ireland were given, and we're certainly fighting hard to get that back, because while we may be going through difficult times at the moment, these times passed, and we need new projects, we need new product in order to gain most when the pick-up does
I
come.
think the new product is vitally important. I think the new product for the demographic of the tourists who came to Ireland for the tourism product that we had here isn't coming anymore. They've actually physically passed away. Okay, the new market, which is my own age and a little older than myself, aren't motivated by driving for 4 hours every day on the wrong side of the road with a stick shift. We want to go someplace for 3 to 4 days, have a cultural experience, have lovely service and very fine cuisine and all of that which Ireland has in abundance, and hop on the plane and come home. It's a one-stop trip, and that's not the way Ireland is packaged and sold overseas in the world today, and we need to address that. And that's part of what this is about. It's the exact same philosophy as we had behind Savas, the spa, when we were building the spa. It's about creating destinations and with facilities and the attributes that are attractive to those markets, and that's what it's about.
Well, this truly is one of the classiest new product pieces that I've seen in some time. I couldn't imagine it happening in a better place than Kenmare. I wish you the very best of luck with it, John, and we'll be supporting you on getting it over the final hurdle.
Thank you indeed. Now, I just want to say one thing which I didn't answer you, okay? You asked me there about the content of the building, okay? The content of this building is extremely important, but very, very difficult to define on paper, for the simple reason this is not an exhibition centre, this is not an art gallery, but it could be any of those things, and a world-class any of those things.
Multi-purpose.
But the important thing about it is that there would be an annual exhibition that would change yearly. And if there's an exhibition which is, with some exhibitions will be more successful than others, but we're not locked into anything. So there's no ability for it to be a white elephant. So we're not chasing the history of the Celts or the Vikings or the famine. We're not, it's none of those things. This is always about the today in the world, and that's why it's the centre of contemporary Irish culture, because that changes on an annual basis, and we have the ability to reflect that here.
So the key to it obviously is to get the capital taken care of, and so that it will then operate at a
It's amazing, because we were well on the road to having the grant signed, sealed and delivered. All the indications were very positive, and our worry was the local funding. We launched it, I think it was on the 26th of March. By the middle of April we had 1.2 million pledged by only one meeting in Kenmare. That's the money that came in, within a month. We have no worries on it locally now. Our problem now is nationally, but we'll see where that goes.
But that will come.
Please God.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.